Legacy Precious Metals is the company that I trust to give you good and patient counsel for investing in your retirement. The Biden administration has caused a financial crisis, and they have no clue how to fix it. Oil prices have skyrocketed, and when oil prices go up, not only do your expenses go up, but the cost of transportation and shipping spikes, leading the prices of goods to rise. And we are already seeing record inflation. That's the last thing that we need. Our economy is in trouble, and you need to take steps to protect yourself. If all your money is tied up in stocks, bonds, and traditional markets, you may be vulnerable. So gold is one of the very best ways to protect your retirement. No matter what happens, you own your own gold. It's real, it's physical, and it's always been valuable since the dawn of time. Call Legacy Precious Metals today at 866-528-1903 or visit them online at legacypminvestments.com. That's legacypminvestments.com, where you can download the free investor's guide. You can also go to my Facebook page, Jenna Ellis. I am a public figure on Facebook, and I just posted yesterday a really great interview with the president of Legacy Precious Metals, who is discussing why you need to start your retirement account even if you're in your 20s or 30s. There is always a great time to protect your retirement and invest, just like you want to protect your health over the long term. So go to Legacy Precious Metals at legacypminvestments.com or call 866-528-1903.
As a constitutional law attorney, former senior legal advisor, and personal counsel to President Donald J. Trump, Jenna Ellis believes in the rule of law and the importance of integrity in our elections. And she's ready to tackle the big cultural and legal issues facing America. This is the Jenna Ellis Show. Here is your host, Jenna Ellis.
Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of the Jenna Ellis Show. I'm Jenna Ellis, and of course want to bring you all of the news from various places and topics, and really excited to interview Kevin Freeman today. He's host of the Blaze TV's The Economic War Room and has a brand new book out that's titled According to Plan, The Elite's Secret Plan to Sabotage America. So Kevin Freeman, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Jenna. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Thanks. And, I think that you're right that a lot of Americans are convinced and understand that something is going on, something on a global scale, but can't quite necessarily pin down exactly what. So what is your premise in this book?
Well, the premise is that there are elites, both in the United States and internationally, like the Chinese, that have intentions to dominate the world. And the one thing that stands in between where they are and what they want is liberty-minded Americans. They hate the fact that America has individual liberty, that we have a constitution. So they've worked desperately for decades to undermine our constitution, and now they feel like they're ready to unveil their plot, whether it's through the World Economic Forum and Klaus Schwab or Xi Jinping in China. They're ready just to say, we win and you lose, and give up your liberties. But we're not ready to give up.
Right. We certainly aren't. And, even just yesterday on MSNBC, there was a clip that went viral, and I loved it because the host was asking just a group of about 10 voters in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and asking their opinions on a lot of different topics and everything. And they just all pushed back and clearly were not buying the elitist and the cable news networks' narratives. And the reaction from Joe Scarborough and some of their analysts on that clip was absolutely hilarious, because they tried to just say, oh, this is groupthink. Look, clearly they've gotten talking points. I mean, any other thing besides Americans are pushing back and saying, no, we don't want to buy the narrative. So when we talk about global elites, Kevin, and we talk about what their ultimate plan is, what exactly are we talking about? And rather than just saying, oh, well, this is conservative talking points, and you guys have been concerned someone's coming for your freedom for a long time.
Yeah, well, the Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum are very blatant and bold about it. They want to end fossil fuels used anywhere on the planet. In fact, they made a video. These 10 things will happen by the year 2030. One of them is we'll eat a whole lot less meat. There will be no national borders. The U.S. will not be the dominant global power. And the idea is we'll make fossil fuels history. And they even use that exact term as we adopt their green energy push. Bottom line is their plan is to make the elites in charge. They're the intellectuals. It's just like we had in COVID. The elites know everything, and we have to do like serfs. We have to serve them and do what they want. So we have to stay in our homes if they want us to stay in our homes. We'll own nothing and we'll be happy about it. I mean, they've made it very known, and you can see it on the World Economic Forum website now. You can see it in talks from Davos. Basically, to save the planet, we have to do everything they say, and they live extremely well because all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. And those are the pigs of Animal Farm, and they're the pigs that are elites today.
Yeah, and seeing what is going on with the World Economic Forum and how they're so blatant about saying we want to push eating bugs on you. I saw there was some advertisement to say that there's now dog food that is distilled or crushed bugs, and they even want our dogs, which I thought, okay, where's PETA in all of this? And the liberal left who has all of their fur babies and they choose to have dogs instead of children. Certainly somebody has to be raising the alarm within the Democrat, at least the moderates in the Democrats. But how can this actually be accomplished? I mean, some of the pushback that I've gotten from listeners or just in conversations I've had with friends is, okay, so they're trying to push this on us, but how can they truly force this when clearly nobody, even among the Democrats, is going to want to give up their stake?
Well, it's a twofold approach. One is they've undermined us for decades, don't believe in sovereignty, don't believe in national borders and so forth, and they use the media to do that. But the second thing is they have no intention to let a serious crisis go to waste. Look what they did during COVID. And the intention is that we'll just declare a climate change emergency or a health emergency, whether it's monkeypox or COVID or whatever else. And it'll be an international emergency. And you really have to conform, because if you don't, you're putting your family at risk. And oh, by the way, if you speak up, we can arrest you. We'll deplatform you from social media. We'll cut off your bank account. We'll do everything possible to make you conform. And we've seen it the past several years. It is in the Biden administration in spades. They're pursuing this approach. And if you disagree with transgender ideas, for example, you need to be shut down at the school board meeting. You can't speak up. If you believe that a woman or a man should not be competing in women's sports because they have an unfair advantage, we will silence you because you're a hater. We might even throw you in jail. We might show up with 20 FBI agents to your house and point guns at you in front of your children. Those are the means that they're doing to silence us and make us conform. But Americans aren't willing to give up our liberty just yet.
Yeah, and just yet, I think, are the two key words, because it was shocking to me how many people, even among some conservatives, went along with the quote unquote medical emergency of COVID. And certainly, everyone is willing to do their part when there is some kind of natural disaster, when there is some kind of emergency. But to have this kind of perpetual open-ended emergency that governors of states and certainly federal authorities were saying, you're going to conform regardless of whether or not this goes against your conscientious objections, your religious beliefs, and you need to do this for greater sake of the good of the whole. We can all easily see how that could be manipulated and used in any other context, including the climate crisis. And I'm convinced, Kevin, that if the Supreme Court hadn't stepped in on the OSHA mandate and said, no, sorry, federal government, you cannot mandate this for every small business and every business above 100 employees, we would still be in the midst of a so-called COVID emergency right now. So with that kind of being the testing ground for these global elites to say, okay, let's learn from this, what did and didn't work during the COVID pandemic, then how do you think they're going to use that information to hit back harder and to convince even very well-meaning Americans that they need to just comply and that, yeah, it's time to give over our liberties and freedoms?
Well, they've wargamed all of this, just like they did before the pandemic. The World Economic Forum had, Event 201. They've wargamed the next financial crisis and the fact that we have $31 trillion in debt and we're facing a huge financial crisis. They've approached it that way, and their answer will be central bank digital currencies, and where they can control spending. They can ramp it up or shut it down, but they can also control thought, pattern, and behavior if they can control our money. So they've thought through 6 moves ahead on the chessboard, and they have plans to implement all 6 of those moves and take away our liberty. But we can fight back. It is not too late for Americans. We have alternatives that we develop in the Economic War Room every week to fight back, whether it is the digital Texan, which is an idea for Article 1, Section 10 money here from Texas, or whether it is to take over Google and have an alternative to Google, or any of those other things necessary. If we can crack their narrative, crack what their plans are and move them one move off so they miss one move, their 6 moves that they planned ahead will not work, and America can retain liberty because the American people are with us. And I think we're going to see it in a massive red wave in the elections, the midterm elections.
I hope we will, and I hope that everyone listening will get out and vote the best option that they can in their individual state. So what do you think then, Kevin, is the main key move that you would like to see in a perfect world, in your perfect economic world? What particular move do you think would most throw off their 6 moves ahead?
I think the number one thing that they're resting everything on is a central bank digital currency. They expect people to adopt it because it's cool and it's flashy and it's new, and they can move money in and out of checking accounts. And at first, they'll probably give us a economic relief package, and everybody will get some CBDC in their wallet, just like the Chinese did, with the intention of really controlling us. But our answer to that, which I talk about in the Economic War Room all the time, and we've produced it, is central bank digital currency is solved by Article 1, Section 10, which says no state shall make anything but gold and silver coin tender in that state. And if we could have the state stand up and say, as an alternative, we're going to take the Texas Bullion Depository, for example, and we're going to translate that into a digital Texan, which is backed by gold and silver, which was supported in a Supreme Court ruling, Briscoe versus Bank of Kentucky in 1837. And we could go back to the idea that states can have currency as long as it is only gold and silver coin. And you have a digital version of that. That is a golden bullet or a silver bullet that I think stops the Great Reset.
So how many governors that are currently either running for office or Republicans, like, they're in Texas, Greg Abbott, I know that, and I supported Don Huffines in the primary. I know he's very much of an economist, and he actually used Article 1, Section 10 as well on the issue of borders, and saying that, the governor actually has a right to close the border regardless of what the federal government is doing, and was very concerned about states' rights and returning as a real Republican. And so are there others, though, that are currently in the general or they're in office right now that either you've talked to or you're aware of that are even focused on these things? Because it seems like, especially in Washington, everybody's concerned and the media wants us distracted by things like the January 6th committee. I mean, nothing that actually matters.
Well, we've had conversations with people with DeSantis in Florida. We've talked to people in Alaska. I've talked to people in Idaho. Everywhere I go, people understand the importance of having that pushback at the state level. And the pushback, we're already seeing it, where Louisiana, for example, recently divested $800 million from BlackRock because they were opposing oil and gas. The state of Missouri did $500 million, $500 million. So the states are getting it. And in fact, we may see an upset in Michigan. We might see an upset in New York. And they're open to new ideas. And the new ideas of the Constitution, they still work. The Constitution is still the best formed government in the history of mankind.
I totally agree with you about that. And, as a lifelong conservative myself, I love hearing other people say that about the Constitution. It's not antiquated. It's not any of these things that the liberal leftists would like to say, or it's not fluid. You can't just, reinvent it or reimagine it to say whatever the left wants it to say. It is what it is. And it actually is a really great distribution and separation of powers and limits powers so that we, the people, can thrive, and so that we, the people, can retain all of our freedoms and liberties. And so as we're looking at Americans who care about our sovereignty here, but then we're looking at the Biden administration and Congress that's sending billions of dollars to Ukraine and doing all of these things that are truly against our principles and against our Constitution. Are there other economic solutions that Americans have to object to some of those types of expenditures or other things in the economy with the rise of inflation? I mean, a lot of my listeners who write in say, we really feel like there's nothing we can do except express frustration because of what's going on in America, and hopefully, and obviously voting.
Well, we can express our power through weaponizing our money. What you can do with your money is three things. You can spend it, you can give it, or you can invest it. Unfortunately, we have not aligned our spending and our investing very well. So an alternative to ESG, which is the big hot thing on Wall Street, that we promote is LSV, Liberty, Security, and Values. And we're training financial advisors at Liberty University to help their clients invest in a way that aligns with their values. If you believe in wokeness, great, then you should invest that way. And Wall Street's got plenty of product offerings for you. But if you want to see our culture passed to the next generation, if you want to see your children and your grandchildren grow up in society like you had the opportunity to do. If you want liberty to be perpetuated, you want strong national borders and strong security, if you want your values to continue, then you should invest according to LSV, Liberty, Security, Values. If the advisors go there and get training at nsic.org, National Security Investment Consultant.org, then they'll help you weaponize your money. We can train 10,000 advisors that would weaponize $1 trillion of capital, which would unleash a great opportunity in America. We can invest in things that enhance our values, not destroy our values. We can create alternatives to Google and the woke companies. We can do creative things to secure our border, or creative things to help advance our health, or creative things to provide water from air or electricity from space, where we get solar panels in space that send down. There are all sorts of ways for investors to take advantage if they wake up and they've got a financial advisor who can help them do it.
So because this all sounds great. And I mean, I'm excited about this and ready to, go talk to, one of the students at Liberty University. And I think it's great you're partnering with them and raising up the next generation of people who care about this and want to protect American society. But it seems like for a lot of conservatives, it's easier to do things like boycott and do some of the negatives and some of the retreats rather than actually stand up and engage, even though we do see a lot of activism and advocacy from conservatives, but not necessarily always on the financial front. What do you think is the reason for that? And what does it take for people to actually hear this, internalize it, and then go engage?
Well, the problem is, 20, 25 years ago, the Chamber of Commerce was conservative and Republican, and they got captured by elitists, and they got flown over to Davos and spent time in Davos. So we've targeted the client-facing financial advisor, the person that you talk to about your insurance, your investing, and maybe a CFP or a chartered financial analyst or an insurance agent or a stockbroker or a CPA. We've targeted them because they have to meet with the clients. And when they do, they say, what values are important to you? Let's invest according to your values. And by doing that, we've woken people up and helped them divest. They can get active. For example, their financial advisor can vote the proxies of the corporation shares that they own. The left has weaponized this and pretty much stolen the boardroom. We can take it back because there are more of us than there are of them. And so when your financial advisor goes to vote your proxy, maybe he wants to vote for a director who believes in fossil fuels to sit on the ExxonMobil board, rather than the one supported by BlackRock is someone who believes fossil fuels should be ended on planet Earth and never used again. Why would that person be a good director at ExxonMobil? So you can be salt or light. A salty person is one that goes and agitates. I own shares of Disney, and I want to tell Disney, hey, start serving families. Stop making movies like Lightyear. They're going to fail miserably, get banned in a dozen Muslim countries, and I won't even take my kids to see it because it's going to be promoting gay kisses and all of that. Why would you do that, Disney, when you can have a much bigger market? So the SALT approach is you go to Disney and you say, I'm a shareholder and I demand that you listen to me. And if enough of us band together, we can, as activists, take back Disney. Or the light approach is, look, I don't want anything to do with Disney. Let's create an alternative and I'll go somewhere else and we'll watch The Chosen rather than a Disney film.
Yeah, so well said. And I love your explanations of all of this and economics. And I think, your show on Blaze TV is fantastic. I've learned a lot from it in the time that I get to watch it. Love that. And in the last 2 minutes I have with you, Kevin Freeman, I have to ask you then, in terms of creating an alternative or taking back the woke companies, what is your opinion on Elon Musk and Twitter?
Well, I don't think that we should jump to the idea that Elon Musk is a conservative and that he's going to reflect conservative values. I don't know that that's true at all. But I do think that he's an intelligent business person and he realizes that Twitter was harming their brand by denying truth. And so if you know that the laptop from Hunter Biden is so obviously real and true, and yet it was banned and you couldn't talk about it, and they're offending a large percentage of the population. So Elon Musk is a visionary. He's a great businessman. He's going to open up and say, hey, let's let Twitter run more fairly with free speech. I think it will be a good thing, potentially, but I don't see him necessarily as a conservative that aligns with all my values.
Right. And I think that's the wise approach. I would love to see Twitter open just for all kinds of ideas, even ideas that I disagree with. That's the whole point of a free marketplace of ideas. And I don't want Elon Musk to favor my perspectives just because I think they're right, and which they are, of course, by the way. But I don't want him to favor me and then, turn around and do to the left and liberals what they've been doing to conservatives for years on Twitter. That's not going along with our fundamental values and principles of a free marketplace of ideas. And so I'm under no delusion that he's a conservative. I think a lot of people think that just because he's pro free speech, but I hope that he at least is enough of a free speech advocate that it will open up the free marketplace of ideas, because that is exactly what the World Economic Forum, the global elites don't want, is for us to think and speak for ourselves. They want us to just go along with the narrative because they're right, and any sort of dissent cannot be tolerated. Kevin, so your book is According to Plan, and it's by Kevin Freeman. Where can people get that? Also find you and watch your show as well.
Yeah, the book can be found at accordingtoplanbook.com/EWR. We're doing a buy one, get one free if you go to that link. So you buy a copy for $17.76, you get a copy to share. It's easy to read. It's something that can help convince your neighbors, your friends, coworkers, that there really is something strange going on here, and it's not conspiratorial. So it's easy to read and share your views. You can learn more about Economic War Room at economicwarroom.com. Our show is free. You can even get it outside the Blaze paywall, and you get every week with the episode a free economic battle plan you can download to remind you what you studied and back up what you've learned, and then give you an action plan what you can do about it.
Awesome. Well, Kevin Freeman, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for all of the work that you're doing. And for everyone who is currently Christmas shopping like me, this is a great time to get a book, and then you get one for Christmas. You can give it to a friend, give it to a family member, and make sure that you get this and you follow Kevin Freeman, his book, According to Plan. Really appreciate your insights, and I hope you'll join me again soon. Thanks.
Thank you, Jen.
It's time to make your health great again as we get closer to the new year. For anyone looking to ignite your fat-burning metabolism, boost your energy, and transform how you look and feel, you must start taking care of your liver now. Your liver is your body's master detoxifier. It performs over 500 key functions in your body every day. It's responsible for cleansing and removing thousands of harmful toxins, man-made chemicals, alcohol, and dangerous food additives and preservatives. After decades of wear and tear, our livers slow down and become sluggish. And this is why so many of us struggle with weight gain and feeling tired all of the time. So fortunately, there is a simple, all-natural solution that I absolutely recommend. It's called Liver Health Formula. Liver Health Formula contains 12 powerful botanicals clinically proven to recharge and protect your liver at the cellular level. It also helps restore your liver's detoxifying abilities, boost your energy levels, and you can kick your natural metabolism into high gear. So Liver Health Formula is backed by science and approved by American doctors. Every bottle is also manufactured right here in America too. So as of right now, as a listener to the Jenna Ellis Show, you can try Liver Health Formula completely risk-free and receive 5 free gifts when you order today. First, you'll receive a free 30-day supply of nano-powered omega-3. This is a powerful blend of omega-3 fatty acids that supports a healthy heart and brain, with 4 times better absorption thanks to this special nano delivery system. You'll also get 4 free ebooks to support every aspect of your health and longevity, regardless of your age. So go to getliverhelp.com/Jenna or call toll-free at 800-282-1757 to claim your risk-free supply of Liver Health Formula and all 5 bonus gifts. That's getliverhelp.com/Jenna or call 1-800-282 1757. You're covered by their 365-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing at all to risk. But supplies are limited, so head over to getliverhelp.com/Jenna or call toll-free 800-282-1757 now to order Liver Health Formula and get your 5 free bonus gifts. That's getliverhelp.com/Jenna or call 1-800-282-1757. MyPillow is having their biggest sheet sale of the year. You all have helped build MyPillow into the amazing company that it is today. Now, Mike Lindell, the inventor and CEO, wants to give back exclusively to you, his listeners. The Percale bed sheet set is available in a variety of colors and sizes, and they are all on sale. So, for example, the queen size is regularly priced at $89.98, but is now only $39.98 with our listener promo code Jenna, Jenna. So order now because when they're gone, they're gone. The Percale bed sheets are breathable and have a cool and crisp feel. These come with a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee, so don't miss out on this incredible offer. There's a limited supply, so be sure to order now. You can call 1-800-564-8475 and use the promo code Jenna, or go to mypillow.com/Jenna. You can click on the radio listeners square and use the promo code Jenna. That's Jenna. Thank you so much to all of Mike Lindell's listeners and listeners of this podcast for making sure to support MyPillow and using our exclusive listener promo code Jenna. That's Jenna.